that democracy was equals to 1, multi-party politics, 2, periodic elections, 3, limitation of terms of the presidency. That is how the conceptual West defined it for us. And we who have had the advantage, if it is an advantage at all, of being educated in the West, there is a sense in which our thought processes are also confined by those definitions. However much we want to free ourselves, we find our default mode being how we were trained. So when we define democracy, we are also caught up in this box. Sometimes we tell ourselves to think outside of the box, but the true north of our thought processes still remains the box. We never think without the box. We were told by the conceptual West, and when I talk about the conceptual West, I'm including Australia, those countries that are geographically not in the West. They were telling us through their NGOs, and there is no shortage of them, that democracy means, democracy defined by Europe and America means that you must have multi-party states, and we formed them in the hundreds. Go to the Democratic Republic of Congo, they have 233 political parties. So that if you are looking at the ballot paper in the Democratic Republic of Congo, it is as tall as you are. Then we were told that democracy means that we must have elections every 5 years. And democracy means that the European Union and some other Western agency must come in and observe us and say that you little fellows, you have done a good job. That is effectively what they do. Once they have done that, then they print papers which says, now this is the index of democracy, and we are very happy because Europe and America have told us we are democratic. Not the woman in Butiama. The woman in Butiama has not told us we are democratic. It's Europe and America, it's Paris and Washington. But when they are telling Africans that, they don't tell Kuwait that. No, they don't. They don't tell Singapore that. No. They don't tell Saudi Arabia that. That is staple for the African. It is the Africans who must be told what to do, because he is incapable of knowing what he does. We must define ourselves.
When the attack happened in Libya and Gaddafi was being taken down, a number of African presidents said, wait, hold. We will fly into Libya and we can have some kind of diplomatic conversations. The feedback from external actors to them was, if you fly into Libyan airspace, we cannot guarantee your security. I want you to think about that for a minute, that heads of state of the African continent were told this on our continent. And ladies and gentlemen, what is Libya today? What is Libya today? And it happened on our watch. It happened on our watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda 1994. Dilly-dallying over the word genocide at the United Nations Security Council. So 1 million people dead in how many days? And who solved the problem? We had to solve the problem. His Excellency and a small force came back in and had to build this country from scratch, ladies and gentlemen. And today we still get lectures and hear lectures about human rights, and there's something wrong. I want to talk about South Africa today. In South Africa today, we are hearing narratives being built around white genocide in South Africa. You are security actors, you understand the import of these narratives and why are they being placed in the international scene? Why is this happening? What could it open up? But where does Africa stand? 54 nations? A strong continent, resource-rich, fastest-growing continent in the world. Where do we deserve to sit? Your Excellency, let me come to you on this. Multilateral systems and how do we maneuver this very serious reality, please?
Yeah, my good people, where you're watching from, I greet you good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. That is P.l.o Lumumba. That's a P.l.o Lumumba professor from Kenya, and this guy is right for whatever he's talking about, because what we've been experiencing in Africa, it's something that for us as Africans to make these things, or to correct these issues and make right and make as how we as Africans want these things to happen, want these issues to be tackled. When we as Africans themselves, we are not serious about these issues, then it is going to consume us forever and ever. When we as Africans, when our leaders don't sit down themselves and ask themselves some questions on how they can manage to govern their countries as it is needed, then we have a long way to go. Because let me just give you give an example of this the issue when we come at the political issues in Africa. It's very hard and rare to find any African country having a peaceful elections. Each and every time African countries have election, there must be a violence, there must be a crisis, there must be war, there must be a quarrel between the communities. And this has always caused by the people who have been saying that they are the one who has to show us on how to govern ourselves. Before the elections, there must be a budget that has to be made so as to manage the election of the country to be held. And this budget, when the government release that money that holds the election, these money are not being used in our countries. They are being sent in European countries. They are the one who are organizing this election for us. They are the one who are printing the ballot papers for us. They are the one who are coming to monitor the election process in Africa. They are the one who after the election, they are the one who have to come and appreciate the work that has been done by the African during the election period. So when there is a crisis, because after election we experience several issues between the candidates, we find that there's a crisis or this quarrel between the candidates, between the tribes. So after this, they have to send their agent to come and say that he is coming to bring peace, and he has the authority to decide which side has won the election. And this is the status of Africa. This is how things have been working in Africa. So they are the one who bring out this thing that called democracy. Democracy is an import. This is a thing or a document that was brought to Africa, and the Africans were told to sign that document. And that document has his rules and policies that each and every African should follow. As P.l.o Lumumba has said, that what these people are coming to tell Africans, they cannot tell Kuwait, they cannot go and tell Arab countries, they cannot go and tell China. Why? Because those countries that are mentioned, these are the countries that have at this time they have organized themselves, they have packaged themselves, so they know what to do. But Africa is the only place that has to be told what to do. We cannot do anything by ourselves, but we have to be told what to do. We have to be planned anything that we have to do. So when we as African say these issues of uniting Africa, and we need the freedom of Africa, the free Africa, we need an independent Africa, it is going to cost us, because our leaders are not ready to get rid out of the bond that we are being held, and that we have been held there for over 400 years. This is the problem that is consuming Africa each and every day. So when we as Africans, we every day talk about the African matters and African community issues, it is not that we are trying to promote maybe violence, or we are against some races, or we don't love some the people of a different race from Africa, from the black community. No. But what we are trying to say is that we as Africans, at the point that we as Africans we are today, we are in a position that we must stand by ourselves. We must practice even when we have some things that we don't know, or we are not sure of, or we are not mature of. But then we have to try doing it. For time being, then everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. This country that are trying to tell Africa what to do, that are coming to say that they must be there for African to survive, they were not where they are today some years ago. They never knew everything some years ago. They were not stable to do everything by themselves. But due to the time, as time goes by, now they have the capability of doing everything on themselves. And that's why we are saying each and every day that we need the free Africa. We have the leaders, and they have the mandatories. They have the duties to perform. As time goes by, then Africa will be able to stand by itself. Let me first show you this clip, and then we'll come back and react.
U.S. General Michael Langley, speaking in Kenya, said Africa must allow U.S. military bases because, in his words, the continent isn't mature enough to fight insurgency or handle advanced military tech. Let that sink in. Africa, labeled too weak to defend itself on its own land. Is this partnership, or power play, support, or strategic control? Why is Africa always told it needs saving, never trusted to lead? Is this the price of peace or the cost of sovereignty?
Welcome back. That was Michael Langley, General, Foster, General of America Marine, as he was in Kenya. He clearly said that Africa is not mature enough to govern itself. When it comes to military issues, Africa must have military bases. Africa must have the American military bases in our countries. So this is what I will say about this issue. We have experienced many issues and crises. We have experienced many killings that have been caused by terrorists like Al-Shabaab, Al-Qaeda, and all those. But there is not even a single day that I've ever seen any white soldier or any military soldiers from foreign countries. Those who are in Africa, in African countries, they have bases everywhere in Africa. In each and every country of Africa, we must have there is a military base. The white soldiers, the West troops, they're there, but I've never experienced them going to any mission of saving Africans. I've never seen them going to any African country to deal with the terrorist issues. But they're just there. So I don't know what is their role. I don't know what is their duty. But they are here every day. We are seeing them. We see them in their uniforms. They are here. But I don't know what they are doing. So when we be told that we must have these bases, we must have these foreign soldiers, then what are their missions? If their mission is not there for African country, if they are not there to save and handle the issues of Africa, then what are their missions? So what's the meaning of we having these people in our countries whereby they cannot help us? If these people are not here for the interests of Africans, if they're in our countries, but they are not considering the issues of Africans, the issues that is facing and the problems that are facing Africans, then why must we have them? So we have General Michael Langley, the commander of AFRICOM. He is claimed to be the commander dealing with the issues that affect the military issues of Africa. But we have been experiencing many issues concerning our militaries and everything in security issues in Africa. But we never saw these people coming to help, coming to deliver any help in Africa. So this is Africa. Africa is the only place that we must be told what to do. We have to be guided. We have to accept and admit everything that they told us, whether we like it or not. You have listened to General Michael Langley when he was in Kenya. He was asked this question of the countries who are trying to be sovereignty, like Burkina Faso, and he clearly said that Burkina Faso has the right to deal to do with their minerals. But the leader of Burkina Faso, which is a coup leader, Ibrahim Traore, has using the country's gold, and he is not going to allow it. He must be there, and he must correct where the mistakes are happening. So he is dealing best and focused on Burkina Faso just because he is not. It's not just because he bothered much about Burkina Faso, but because they are more concerned of the gold of Burkina Faso. That's the issue. So whenever they pretend that they are coming to deliver issues, the problems of Africa, we as Africans at this time, we already know what they are after. So we know that the white people are only interested in the minerals and resources that are in Africa, but they are not concerned about the African issues. They are not concerned about the African problems. They are just in Africa. They are forcing to come and deal with Africans just because they have something to benefit from, just because they have their target too, and they know what they want from Africa. So we as Africans at this time, let me first show you this clip, then I'll come back.
When the attack happened in Libya and Gaddafi was being taken down, a number of African presidents said, wait, hold. We will fly into Libya and we can have some kind of diplomatic conversations. The feedback from external actors to them was, if you fly into Libyan airspace, we cannot guarantee your security. I want you to think about that for a minute, that heads of state of the African continent were told this on our continent. And ladies and gentlemen, what is Libya today? What is Libya today? And it happened on our watch. It happened on our watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Rwanda 1994. Dilly-dallying over the word genocide at the United Nations Security Council saw 1 million people dead in how many days? And who solved the problem? We had to solve the problem. His Excellency and a small force came back in and had to build this country from scratch, ladies and gentlemen. And today we still get lectures and hear lectures about human rights, and there's something wrong. I want to talk about South Africa today. In South Africa today, we are hearing narratives being built around white genocide in South Africa. You are security actors, you understand the import of these narratives and why are they being placed in the international scene? Why is this happening? What could it open up? But where does Africa stand? 54 nations? A strong continent, resource-rich, fastest-growing continent in the world. Where do we deserve to sit? Your Excellency, let me come to you on this. Multilateral systems and how do we maneuver this very serious reality, please?
Welcome back. That's a clip of that lady. He was in AU, and he was boldly asking the members of AU, the board members of AU, these issues. Africa has experienced many problems, but AU, which is African Union, has never been there to solve the issues of Africans. When the problems, when the genocide of Rwanda, 1994, as she has said, occurred, and thousands of people were killed in a single day, AU never came up and addressed anything concerning that issue. They never came out. They never come out to say anything concerning that issue. So they assumed like nothing happened, and that is the board that is there. That's the organization that is there. That we as Africans, we believe that is there to and protect the issues that African countries are facing. So when these countries face these issues, and that's just like as she has talked about Libya, everything that happened to Muammar Gaddafi of Libya. The Africans leader were there. Everything happened under their watch, but they said nothing. They said nothing. He was told, he or she was told that when you go in Libya, then you have to guarantee yourself the security, because they are not going to guarantee anybody security when go to Libya, because democracy guides that way. So what are we talking about democracy? Ibrahim Traore is now doing everything in Burkina Faso against democracy, but the residents of Burkina Faso, the Burkinabes, are very happy of their leader. They are very happy and they celebrate the leadership of Ibrahim Traore each and every day. Why? Because when they put aside democracy, their country is being governed well. They have peace of mind. Their country is running well. They have received many developments in the countries. In fact, infrastructure, economy has been boosted at a higher percent. Then how can you go and convince the people of that country that they must have democracy? How can you go and convince these people that they have to protest so that they send Ibrahim Traore home and elect people democratically to the office? This is something that is very difficult. And the rest of the African countries will only experience and enjoy the good leadership when they will come together and speak one voice. That's when we as Africans will come to enjoy the best and good leadership. But when we continue supporting our leaders who are not even able, who are not even aware on how we are moving our lives in our countries, who are not even aware of the problem that is facing the common citizen, then we have a very big problem and we have a long way to go. And that's why we say that we support revolutionary leaders. We stand by them. We are on their backs and we give fully support, 100 fully support. We need the best leadership. We need the best leadership. So I thank the commentary that has been made by Ibrahim Traore, that has made by P.l.o Lumumba, the professor from Kenya, who speaks facts and speak the truth about Kenya and about Africa, because Africans at this time, they need the best Africa. They need the best life. They need the best and better life that freedom fighters, our ancestors died craving for it. This is a Kenyan Explorer. Just tell me what you have in the comment section concerning the video that I have reacted to. And if you like the video, please subscribe to the channel for more videos, for more updates that comes out. We are doing this in African way because we love Africa and we will not stop advocating this. We have to install the revolutionary mind in each and every African so that we can walk on the same path. We can speak one voice and we can achieve the agenda of uniting Africa. Thank you for your time and be blessed.